What was your involvement in changing Stone Cold Steve Austin from the Ringmaster to his developing into the Stone Cold character?
Well, bro, I got to be honest with you. I mean, you know, you got to, like, you got to give credit where credit is due, and that was all Steve. And, you know, that's the thing that just, you know, it just pisses me off, because people don't have a clue, and they weren't there. And I was a fan of Stunning Steve Austin at WCW.
Right.
I never saw.
I still prefer that character, actually, believe it or not.
I never saw Austin's work at ECW. I never saw it, but I love Stunning Steve Austin. I knew the guy could talk. And I'll never forget when he was hired, you know, Vince would call me in the office and he'd give me like a blueprint of, okay, like these are who these characters are, and I would have to develop the characters.
Right.
And I remember Vince looked me in the eye and he said to me, Steve Austin is to never open his mouth. Ted DiBiase is to cut all his promos. And I remember looking at him, and when he said that, I knew Vince didn't have a clue who Stunning Steve Austin was. The fact that you don't want this guy to talk, like, bro, like, seriously? So I now had to go to Steve, and I said, Steve, listen, bro, this is the mandate Vince has given me. I said, I don't agree with it. I says, it's what he wants. So basically, Steve said to me, Vince, you got to find a way for me to talk. You got to give me an opportunity. You got to give me a chance. So I remember I was writing a show. I don't remember if it was with Ed or not, but there was an opportunity to put Austin as the ringmaster on headsets during a match. And we put Austin on color during the match and let Austin talk, and right there, Austin 316 was born. Stone Cold. Bro, this guy took literally 3 minutes on color to become a millionaire. I mean, it was 3 minutes, and he took those 3 minutes and he owned those 3 minutes. It was all him, and Stone Cold Steve Austin was born from there.
Was he pretty easy to work with?
He was a little difficult, bro, and I'll tell you why. You got to understand, Steve came through the ranks, man, and he was always, you know, really a mid-carder at best. Once he became Stone Cold Steve Austin, he skyrocketed like that. And I know there was always a part of Steve that kind of, in the back of his mind, when he finally achieved this greatness, and in the back of his mind, I knew he thought, I could lose this just as quickly as I got it. So when we would write for him, he would really look at everything through a fine-tooth comb. I mean, really analyze it and rip it apart and put it back together. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, you can find a problem wrong with any script if you want. You can find a problem wrong with anything. And I think at times, because of his, you know, I think he was a little paranoid of going backwards. And I don't blame him, because he was so hot at the time. If the writing and the creative didn't match how hot his character was, he would have taken steps backwards. So I think sometimes he might have overanalyzed things to a fault. But I think over time, when we did some of the great stuff we did with him, I think, you know, we really, really earned his trust. And as time went on, it just became easier and easier.